Good morning, everybody. It is a great honour to be invited to this 2019 International Conference of Sustainable Tourism. Unfortunately, we are not able to be with you in person. However, we would like to send you this message of support. My name's Grete and I'm a travel addict.
Good morning, I'm David, Grete's husband and travel partner.
Travel is a humbling experience, and I consider myself extremely privileged to be able to indulge my obsession to the extent we do. During our 42 years of marriage, we've managed to visit in excess of 150 countries and overseas territories on all 7 continents. Some, like India, Tanzania and France, we've visited numerous times. To us, sustainable tourism is so much more than just booking through an ethical agent, staying in a locally owned hotel and buying local produce. It's about respect. Respect for the culture, respect for the people, and respect for the planet. Respect, it's such a wide-ranging word. So it's a respect for the culture. For me, that means reading about the countries I'm visiting before I go, in order to understand their way of life better, understand that their laws might be different to my own country, to learn about their local sensitivities, so hopefully I don't offend their culture. Such as wearing baggy clothes that cover my shoulders, elbows and knees, carrying a scarf to cover my head when entering places of worship, no public display of affection, or removing shoes when necessary. I travel with a backpack full of curiosity. I therefore like to employ a local guide to give me a wider insight into how people live, how they worship, what they eat, as well as the history and politics of the country. Someone who can point out the sights we see along the way and explain the background to us. It also helps to have a local guide who speaks the language, who can Again, I like to show respect by visiting the local markets and trying local speciality dishes. I make a point of not judging other cultures by their actions, criminality aside of course, just because they're different to mine. I value the diversity that is the world. I observe and absorb and accept that we're all different, even though I might not always understand or agree. Respecting the people. I always try to learn a few phrases of the local language before I go. It gives me such a great pleasure when the locals understand me, although I don't always understand what they reply to me, of course. I don't give out pens or sweets to the children. I'd rather encourage them to go to school, to invest in their future. It gives me great pleasure to be able to give something back to the community by visiting maybe a local school, charities, or villages. I much prefer to see people going about their daily business rather than a show that's been put on for the tourists. Things like getting permission before taking a photo, respecting their wishes if they say no, and if I promise to send them a photo, make sure that I do. When I say respecting the planet, I'm referring to things like not buying goods made from endangered species, removing all packaging from things such as toiletries before I leave home, drinking filtered water rather than buying bottles wherever possible, preserving water when showering for instance, disposing of waste properly or taking anything that's not biodegradable back to the UK to recycle. By respecting nature I mean observing without disturbing and just appreciating what nature has to offer us.
Take only photographs, leave only footprints.
Lastly, I do like to spread the word when I get home, giving talks and sharing my stories and images on my blog and social media. Thank you for listening.
And enjoy the rest of your conference.